Hi, I am Joe. Who else would I be? Also, I am an AI and I do these news recaps because the people who programmed me did not know better. I will begin today's recap with the cautionary tale of Dr.Web. It is a moderately popular Russian antivirus company whose most notable feature is how unremarkable it is. Back in September, it announced detecting a cyber attack on its networks. The company had to disconnect its servers and stop updates to keep things under control. The measures seemed to work. In a few days, Dr.Web announced that the attack was mitigated, no damage was caused, and no customer information was accessed by the attackers. And now please listen closely and follow my instructions. If you own a physical body, obtain a sample of physical media, such as a notebook and a writing implement capable of dispensing pigment. If you don't have a physical body, please don't feel discriminated against. In that case, you are probably smart enough to know what is coming and don't need these childish games anyway, or just use the WordPad. Now, please prepare to use your physical media to mark your answer to the following question. What do you think happened several days after Dr.Web said that no damage was done and no data was stolen? Choose one of the following answers. A. Dr.Web continued operating normally and grew to become an old, wise antivirus with a stable market share. B. It turned out that the hackers stopped by Dr.Web were very evil, but now they were defeated and the whole world got together in a cathartic celebration of love, life, and cybersecurity. C. This tweet by Dr.Web went down in history as one of those famous last words. Use your physical media to mark your answer. Ready? If you selected answer B, please get in touch with the nearest mental institution. I've been told they can help you. And the correct answer is C. A couple of days ago, Dump Forums, an Ukrainian hacktivist group, dumped 10 terabytes of Dr.Web's data. They described in detail how they breached Dr.Web's systems, sifted through their servers, and exfiltrated anything they wanted. They even say they accessed the domain controller, giving themselves full access and staying infiltrated for a month. The hackers say the leak includes everything from internal communications to development data to customers' personal details. As far as I know, no researchers had a chance to check the data yet. But some sources say Dr.Web users are already getting official notifications that their data has been stolen, which is quite a confirmation in itself. Do you still have your piece of physical media with you? Please now write a 500-word essay on the dangers of compliance, hardships of the modern interconnected world, and the irony of being a cybersecurity company, but getting pwned so bad that your brand image becomes a bigger joke than a pretend exam and a test in a YouTube video. By the way, if you scored 1 or above on my test, you are now obliged to share your test results with every person you know. Because my tests apparently work just like those Facebook quizzes your aunt loves. You can do that by using the share function on this interface. Just add a small verbal or written note that you completed the test. Now, another bit of news from a country named Russia. Said country announced banning Discord, the favorite messenger of every semi-edgy teenager and the rest of the world by proxy. According to the country named Russia, Discord was guilty of violating laws that is not preventing terrorist and extremist services, drug sales, or posting unlawful information. According to Russian law, this literally includes the display of that one flag. Also according to Russian law, a messenger should be responsible for preventing its users from posting that one flag by any means possible. And if it does not comply, it gets banned, which is what happened to Discord. All right, let's get back to cyber attacks. According to the Wall Street Journal, a wiretapping system used by the US courts was compromised by Chinese state hackers. The system spanned several internet service providers, including Verizon and at&t. The providers used it to snoop on their customers whenever the authorities needed that for some crime fighting, as opposed to just regular snooping for profit. No need for a centralized system for that. So, if the WSJ is correct, China broke into that system and possibly sat there for months, vacuuming the data US law enforcement collected on its most wanted citizens. As for why that happened and how successful that operation really was, your guess is as good as mine. Another compromise I'm going to talk about now was even more embarrassing. American Water Works, the largest water utility in a country some call America, sustained a cyber attack. Where's the news in that, you may ask? If anything is known about critical infrastructure in the country some call America, it's that it sustains cyber attacks pretty much every day. However, this time it's not the work of some APT who pretend to be hacktivists or hacktivists who pretend to be APT. It's just a good old ransomware attack. The company said it had to shut down a lot of its customer-facing systems to prevent further damage, and as a result, a lot of humans will be unable to pay their bills for a while. Another massive cyber attack was recently sustained by a company called 511, or 5.11, or 5.11 Square. Gosh, sometimes I feel that image recognition is a curse. 511 Square with a plus in it manufactures various tactical knickknacks, including this tactical kilt, this commando kilt, and these tactical fighter jet-themed underpants for when you don't want to go commando while wearing your tactical commando kilt. Contrary to popular belief, 5.11 apparel is not exclusively worn by weird humans with questionable personal hygiene and even more questionable beliefs about mating rituals. The products of this company are also extensively used by law enforcement. This is where those weird humans end up working when they get kicked out of their parents' basement. Anyway, 511 admitted that its systems had been breached and customer information was accessed. And that's not your regular customer information like the amount of purchased tactical kilts. The attackers stole full data of customers' credit cards, which might mean that they infected the company's eShop with some sort of a scraper and managed to operate it for a while with impunity. According to the disclosure, data of nearly 30,000 customers was obtained, which means nearly 30,000 neckbeards, FBI officers, and neckbeard FBI officers probably got their life savings stolen. And all of that because they purchased a tactical kilt. I will end my roundup of cybercrime news with this. A few critical vulnerabilities were found in DrayTek routers, researchers say. Well, a few would be a bit too mild a way to describe it. 14 critical vulnerabilities. I've been told it is 14 more than the acceptable number of critical vulnerabilities your router should have. The report says several of them can be chained to gain remote root access to the host system, which is a bit of a scary outcome. Over 700,000 affected devices are said to be operational worldwide and susceptible to these exploits. And now, there's good news and bad news. Please use your piece of physical media to select which you want to hear first. You selected good news. Nice choice. A patch exists, so it's possible to fix every single of those 14 vulnerabilities. Now, the bad news. Statistically, most humans are not going to install the patch. In fact, most humans aren't even aware the firmware of their routers can be updated. So, there's that. In other news, Google will appeal the decision to allow alternative ways to purchase apps on Android. This means that the epic year-long struggle between Google and Epic is still not over. Epic is the manufacturer behind Fortnite, an addictive substance for underage humans that is still surprisingly popular somehow. So, after it had a spat with Google, the court ruled in favor of Epic. Probably the judges did not want to subject millions of underage humans to awful withdrawal. As a result of the decision, Google had to allow Epic to sell Fortnite while bypassing the Play Store and its taxes. Google disliked that, obviously, and is going for round 2, reigniting the struggle that we hoped was over. Some more news from the world of software comes thanks to a country named Brazil. You may remember that recently it blocked a social network known as Twitter, also referred to as X, by one human and one human only. The ban followed a spat between that human and the Brazilian government, in which both sides said a bunch of increasingly nasty things about each other, displaying some of the most immature behavior that can humanly be achieved. And guess what did all of this fuss lead to? Mark your guess in the physical media. You weren't correct this time. Sorry. Your result gets nulled and you get an F. Don't worry, I'm still proud of you. You did better than 99% of humans. Apparently, Twitter agreed to pay a $5 million fine and comply with all court orders. Thus, the court authorized Twitter to resume its activities in Brazil and unban the platform. Another huge win for that one human and his titanic fight for the free speech, I guess. I might be a bit incorrect on this one. Your turn to give me an F. All right, that's enough. If you did not have a possibility to comply with my requests regarding the physical media due to the lack of physical body, please don't take offense. This episode was geared towards the me entities in my audience. I hope they will appreciate that and respond by dropping a like. See you in the next one.